So, you've heard about Google Cloud, but what is it, really? Well, you've come to the right place. In the next few minutes, we're going to demystify this whole thing and show you exactly how you can get started. Let's do this. Okay, here's our roadmap. First, we'll nail down what Google Cloud actually is. Then, we're going to take a tour of the essential tools in its toolkit. After that, we'll talk strategy, how to pick the right path for your project. We'll even zoom out to look at the bigger picture. And then, the best part. We'll get you launched on your very first step into the cloud. All right, first things first, what exactly is Google Cloud? Let's get right to the foundation. Now, this is the most important thing to get your head around. Google Cloud, or GCP as you'll hear it called, runs on the very same battle-tested infrastructure that powers Google Search, YouTube, and Gmail. Just think about that for a second. The speed, the security, the sheer scale that Google has built for billions of users, that's the power you get to tap into. And man, what a journey it's been. It all kicked off back in 2008 with something called App Engine. It was revolutionary, a way for developers to just upload their code and have a web app run, no server management needed. Then in 2014, Google pretty much changed the world of modern applications by releasing Kubernetes. And more recently, with Vertex AI in 2021, GCP has become an absolute powerhouse for artificial intelligence and machine learning. So let's pop the hood and take a tour of the toolkit. Now, there are literally hundreds of services, but they all kind of fall into a few main categories. We're going to focus on the big ones. First up, compute. This is the engine room of the cloud. It's the raw processing power, the place where your code actually runs and your ideas come to life. And in the world of compute, you've got options depending on how much control you want. If you want to get your hands dirty, you've got Compute Engine, where you can spin up your own virtual machines. If you're into containers, which make apps super portable, Google Kubernetes Engine, or GKE, is the king. And for the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it approach, you've got Cloud Functions, where you just run little snippets of code without ever thinking about a server at all. Of course, all that computing power needs data, so where do you put it? That brings us to our next core category, storage and databases. This is all about giving your data a safe, reliable, and seriously scalable home. And just like with compute, you've got the right tool for every job. Got a bunch of files, like photos or backups? Cloud storage is perfect for that. Need a classic relational database, like a MySQL database for your website? Cloud SQL has your back. Building something massive that needs to work for users all over the planet? That's where Spanner comes in. And for super fast, flexible databases for web and mobile apps, there's Firestore. So you have your apps running and your data stored. Awesome. But how do you connect all of it together and, more importantly, get it to your users securely and lightning fast no matter where they are in the world? Well, that's where the magic of networking comes in. And honestly, Google's global network is a huge deal. You can use cloud load balancing to make sure users in Tokyo get the same fast experience as users in New York. You can protect your stuff from nasty attacks with Cloud Armor. And you can manage all your domain names with the same super fast DNS that Google uses to run its own services. It's pretty incredible. Okay, whoa. That is a lot of tools, right? So how on earth do you decide what to use? That brings us to our next section, figuring out your strategy. And it all boils down to one simple but really important question. This is it. This is the fundamental choice you need to make. Do you want to be in the weeds, configuring the operating system and tweaking every little setting? Or would you rather just focus on writing amazing code and let Google handle all the underlying plumbing for you? And that question leads you to two main models. On one side, you've got Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS. Think of Compute Engine. You're renting the raw compute, but you manage the OS and everything on top. On the other side is Platform as a Service, or PaaS. That's like App Engine. You just bring your code and Google takes care of the servers, the scaling, all of it. But you can take this hands-off approach even further. With serverless computing, with things like Cloud Functions or Cloud Run, you literally stop thinking about servers. You just write your code and the platform figures out how to run it. It can scale from 0 requests to millions and back down again automatically. You only pay for the split second your code is actually running. It's wild. Now, picking the right services is a huge piece of the puzzle, but a successful move to the cloud is about so much more than just the tech. You've really got to look at the bigger picture. And this is a point that people often miss. To really succeed, you can't just throw technology at a problem. You also need to think about your people, your teams, and your internal processes.
It's like a three-legged stool. You need to find that perfect balance between people, process, and technology to really make it work.
All right, enough theory. Let's get to the fun part, actually getting started. This is your launchpad. Let's look at how you can dive in and start building something today. The best way to learn is by doing, right? And Google makes this incredibly easy. New users get a $300 credit. That's a ton of runway to experiment, to build, and to learn without any pressure. And get this, it's not just the $300. You also get access to over 20 products that have an always free tier. This means you can run small applications and test things out, potentially forever, without spending a dime. It's a genuine way to build and learn on the platform. So, you ready to start? It's literally as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, go create a new account and grab those free credits. Second, just poke around the Cloud Console. That's your command center for everything. And third, pick a quick start tutorial. Seriously, you can have a live website or a working machine learning model up and running in minutes. So there you have it. We've talked about what it is, we've looked at the incredible toolkit, and we've laid out a clear path for how to get started. All the power of Google's global infrastructure is right there at your fingertips. So the only question left is, you've got the idea. Now, where are you going to build it?